Hi there. How is it going? I was feeling joy for a moment there. Joy is at a soul level. Joy is not something that is temporary. Happiness is temporary, but joy is something that's eternal and it's at a much higher vibration than happiness. But I'll wait for some people to come in. I will wait for some people to come in. Hi there. How are you guys doing today? Just waiting. Hello, how was your day? How was your day? How was your day? I want to talk about, she said she loves her ego. I want to talk about Taryn Guy, Lucid Living TV. So I give some more people. I'm talking about Lucid. Now she's going by the name Sky. Okay, Sky. I guess SKY. Sky. I want to talk about, I did not really know about her during her natural hair days. I think that's might have been how she started her channel with natural hair and fitness and health and all that stuff. I was listening to somebody's channel and she was doing the backstory of, and I want to make it clear, this is not, I'm not judging anybody, because I want to say this: every soul has its own journey, and how that soul goes about its journey is how that soul navigates its journey. I want to talk about what's going on based on my experience. I want to talk about what I believe is happening. When I listened to this lesson, her name is, she has, I guess she just started her channel. Her name is Sheba. I wonder if Sheba is actually commenting under my videos. I don't know, because there's somebody named Sheba Talks or Sheba Baby. But this person is named Sheba, and I don't know if that's the same person. But anyway, I watched her video about Taryn Guy, and she gave a backstory about her natural hair care days and how she was caught in a scandal. She ended up getting pregnant by a married man. And so she's feeling like, what's going on with, if you don't know Lucid Living TV, she has been a nomad for a while, but not necessarily by choice, because she's having trouble finding shelter. So somebody who, she's not just traveling around the world, seeing the world, because you have nomads like that. Like, it's a lady that I watch. She's like a nomad, but it's on purpose. She wants to travel the world. Taryn Guy is not a nomad on purpose. She's having trouble finding shelter. Um, but I was listening to the backstory, because I guess reading under the comments of one of her videos, when she had said that she'd rather spend $8.99 on a bottle of vodka than to spend $6.99 on some coffee. And she said that that's what she felt like using her donations for at that time. And I read the comments, and I saw some people talking about, well, one person talked about destiny swapping. And that comment stood out to me only because I remember watching her in 2019. I was watching her before that, but I only started watching her during her spiritual days. I didn't watch a lot of natural hair care people. I'm not into that. I look at them. I like to see their hair. I like to, but I'm not interested in constantly like subscribing to those channels and watching it like I would watch spiritual channels. I really started tuning into Taryn Guy, Lucid Living, when she was like, just called herself Lucid Living TV, when she called herself Offset. And I kept calling her Offset for a long time. She changed her name to Sky, and I kept calling her Offset because that's just how I knew her from her spiritual channel. I didn't know the backstory. Now, 2019, I saw a vision. This is before she went downhill. 2019, I saw a vision of some red looking bugs coming down the wall. And it was shortly after I watched her. And I asked Spirit, I said, is this something towards her? I'm gonna tell you something. I don't want to get off course. Let me say what I saw. So and Spirit said yes. I didn't say nothing because I was gonna mind my business. My chest started hurting me so bad until I finally, like, my chest was so heavy, my chest was troubled, like in my heart was troubled. And I could not get rest until I found some way to say something to her. I didn't know this lady, and when people have big channels, and I'm somebody who just nobody knows, it's a small chance that they're going to pay attention to anything I say. And that's just how people who have big channels and big following, that's just how it is sometimes. Okay, because so many people try to talk to them that, I guess, they don't really pay attention to everybody, right? Especially who nobody knows. Okay. And but I found some kind of way I found some video that it was at least a month or so old, around 2019. I tried to find some video that was at least maybe a month or so old because she did videos regularly. So if I went back to a video that was month, chances are not too many people are still commenting on that channel. So I tried to find a video and comment and said, listen, I saw this, and just to be careful, because I feel like you're in danger. And after I said that, then the troubling in my heart settled. After I warned her, that let me know that she saw the message. The troubling in my heart went away, and that let me know that she might have seen the message. So, and then shortly after that, I want to say maybe 2 to 3 months after that, after I saw that 2019, she came out talking about that's when she cut her hair off, but she was still in Jersey. Okay, she was still in New Jersey, and she had called this guy out. His name is Sevan Bomar. Sevan Bomar, Sevan, Sevan or Seven, one of them, but I think it's Sevan, Sevan Bomar. And they did a collaboration. They've done collaborations before. And she's like, after they did that collaboration, she noticed something has changed with her. But she also admitted that she had some kind of intimate relationship, not as far as physical, but she would talk to him a lot. They would communicate with each other, and it was like they had feelings for each other. Now, she did say he was a married man. I believe she might have said he didn't know she was married. Well, I don't know if she knew he was married, but she did say that he was a married man, and she had, I would say, intimate conversations with Sevan Bomar. And she said ever since then she has went downhill. I want to say this though. The bottom line, whether this guy did something spiritual to her or not, because after I saw that video, she made that video about how he set her up. And she could be right about that. She could be right, because let me tell you something, she's very spiritual. I have spoken to her 101, and let me tell you, she's on point a lot about a lot of what she says. And I'm not into too much of the tarot card stuff. Nothing wrong with tarot cards, but no, she really knows stuff. She told me stuff that nobody else would have been able to say, and doesn't have anything to do with my life right now. Because people can put some tarot cards and might see some stuff in my life. I'm not talking about that. She saw some stuff that happened she saw who I really am. And I'm talking about as a non-human being. Okay? As a non-human being, she is aware of my authentic self. She found out who I was or what I was. And that's how I knew this girl had a gift. Ain't nobody else been able to tell me that. She found out who my authentic self was. She saw who it was. And it was not a human being. She figured that out. But she wrote something down on a piece of paper and she figured it out. I don't know how she does it. She did that with Martin Kinney, the guy that was talking about flat earth. She did some kind of interview with him on her channel. And she wrote some stuff on her paper and said she come up with a bunch of sevens. I don't know how she come up with. She's really good at it. She's not. It's not too many people who is gifted like the way she is. Let me just say that. I think her weakness is men. I think a lot of women's weakness is men. I think her downfall is men. And it's not them, it's her weakness, but it's men. Okay? And that's not an insult. A lot of women's downfall are men. That's a lot of women's downfall. It's men. And it's a weakness. It's a lack of self-love, though. Because I don't want to, just like I said, I don't want to blame the man. It's a lack of self-love as well. And she was aware of that, because when she talked about what happened with Seven Bomar, she talked about how the little girl in her came out and stuff, and that little girl, the heartbreak of that little girl needs to be, healed or whatever. So she admitted that the little girl in her needs to be healed. She's aware of a lot. She's aware of a lot. She's extremely spiritual. And sometimes spiritual people can seem like they a little crazy. But she's not crazy. The problem is that she has a weakness. She has a weakness, and her weakness is men, and she's a pretty person. And she gets a lot of attention. And I really feel like Spirit needs to close the door to men right now. Right now, men might need to reject her. Until seriously. I mean, right now she's not strong enough to, she doesn't have it in her to have the self-love to be careful of constantly getting into these traps. So right now the door might need to be closed to her. It does. It was closed to me for a while. I'm just saying from experience. The doors of men right now need to be closed to her until she really learns the lesson that she needs to learn. What else was I going to say? But now I will say I do believe that initially a lot of stuff happened to her was probably had to do with this guy. But I saw something about Seven Bomar right after she made that video in 2019 calling him out. Shortly after that, I saw a vision of Seven Bomar, and the person, listen, the original Seven Bomar, I don't know what happened to that person. I'm gonna just say it like that. I don't know what I saw the original Seven Bomar laying somewhere down on the ground in Costa Rica, somewhere in the doggone woods, laying down, and he did not look alive. Okay, that looked like the original Seven Bomar right there in 2019. I don't know who this person might be that we're seeing. Okay. And fast forward to 2020, I'm gonna say 2023. I had a session with Taryn Guy, and she said that she saw the same thing. She's right about a lot. She's on point. Like, she's on point. I think her downfall is not necessarily because she is spiritual. I think her downfall is because of men. Her downfall is because of men. Okay? That whole stuff that happened with Seven Bomar, yeah, she can call him a warlock. And I believe he is a warlock, but not the original Seven Bomar, the one that we might see on TV. A lot of these men in the spiritual community are warlocks. And women need to be careful. So I don't think she's off about what she said about him. And there's a lot of women that are probably jealous of her. But if women are jealous of women anyway, don't matter what they look like. They don't have to look like her. Women don't have to look like her for other women to be jealous. Women are jealous of each other. Now, this is a patriarchy, and it causes a lot of toxic femininity. Causes a lot of competitiveness again with women. Okay, but yeah, she said that she had this collaboration with him in 2019, But she also talked about this intimate type of relationship. They were on phone and talking a lot now. Whether they ever actually met up, I don't know. But I think that could have been what did it. Because I don't think a collaboration, you going, and she was had a collaboration. I saw that collaboration. It was her and him, and they were both being interviewed by these other people. They were Caucasians. They were young, like look, they might have been in their 30s or something. They were more of a spiritual channel too. I never really watched them too much, but they're kind of spiritual. And they were interviewing both her and Seven Bomar. I don't believe that just a collaboration over YouTube it causes. I don't know if she had an intimate relationship with him where he took her energy. That can happen. I'm sorry. When he did some kind of sexual type of magic or whatever he did. Or it could have been an intimate relationship where she opened her heart and he was able to get in and do whatever needed to be done. I'm sorry, but a lot of men have done that to women. There's a lot of, like Q Reeves. Q Reeves talked about how he had these men within this group, and they would do these teachings on live and stuff like that. These other groupers, they had their own group. I guess Q Reeves formed this group, this conscious group or whatever. And he had two men in it. I don't know who they are because I never watched them, so I can't even remember their names. But other women who are watching Q Reeves and listening to these men, they would inbox Q Reeves talking about how Q Reeves, Cureaves, if you don't know who he is. He's on YouTube. It's a Q Reeves experience. And women, it was women who inboxed Q Reeves talking about how they having all these dreams about these men who Q Reeves have brought into this little conscious group, I guess, that he had. And the daughter, something was going on with their daughter. So it's a real thing that these men can affect women. It can happen. So I believe somewhere along the line, these women, he might have taken her energy. But I'm gonna say this though. Around 2022, whatever he took, she was still going through it. But whatever happened to her, she was getting back on track. Okay? Whatever happened to her around 2019 and in 2020 and 2021, whatever was happening to her, she was able to get herself back on track. Okay, she was being gang stalked, and she talked about like she was with a friend, and she said she wouldn't see her text messages, and she said she was with a friend, and she asked her friend text me to let me see if the message come through, and she said her friend text her something, and the message never came through. She said, "See, I'm not getting my text messages, I'm not getting my emails." So something was happening to distort her reality. See, that what was happening. Something was messing with her conscience to distort her reality. Okay, so definitely that is real because a lot of us have been through that. Okay, I don't want to be so mundane to ignore some of the things that can happen. Like I don't want to be too stuck in the doggone false physical world to the point where you can't see out no other way. But I just want to and I'm only saying that because it sounds crazy to believe that's actually true, that your reality can be distorted, but it can be distorted by AI, okay, by AI. And so, but she was able to get moved beyond that though. By 2022, she was in this place. I think she rented a room. She was in Los Angeles. And it was other house guests there. So like I said, it looked like she just rented a room. Okay. It looked like she was doing well. She was doing readings. And she had her own teaching. Like she used to have this group called Indigo 11 or something. And so she got rid of Indigo 11, but then she created something else called Liberated Pen or something like that. And she created her group again. And a lot of people came back to learn from her. She was doing readings. She was making some good money. Okay? She was doing well. Whatever happened to her as a result of Seven Bomar and whatever the AI was doing to mess with her reality, she figured out how to stop it. She figured it out. So Taryn Guy is very much, like I say, that's why I say her weakness is men. She she um she figured out how to stop them from finding her. She put up some kind of block where it would scramble the signals, where because she was being gang stalked. Okay, so she found a way to block the signals so they could not find her. Like she knows she's like a super soldier, okay? She's like a super soldier. She understands. She like that's what I'm saying. By 2022, she started doing a lot better. She whatever happened to her, she figured out the answer. And whatever Seven Bomar and anybody else was doing to her might have still been affecting her, but she was able to get around it. Now I want to get to the title where it said I said that she loves her ego. Where she said she loves her ego. So around that time, she was talking about everything was going on with her, and she figured out how to stop whatever it was from bothering her and from taking over her body, right? Because whatever it was trying to take over her body. Oh, I understand all about that. See, but I couldn't talk about that because the same way she might be called, people like us are kind of called insane. Something was trying to take over her body. You got to be careful who you open yourself up to. When you open yourself up to the wrong person, that most certainly can happen. So for something to take over her body, she opened herself up to something. The reason I know is because I know from experience. Nothing's taken over you unless it had permission to come after you. Okay, it don't happen like that. You're not just going to do a collaboration and mind your business after that, and something comes to take over your body. No, because she was too consciously aware. Something had to happen for her to lower her guard, and she opened herself up to the wrong entity, and it probably did try to take over her body, and she found a way to get it off of her. Okay, and so what she said was, I love my ego. Shoot, I love my ego. Right there, when she talked about how she loved her ego, like she don't want to let her ego go. She loves her ego. Right there, because of my own experience that I'm dealing with right now, I know that everything that is going on with her is her soul wanted her to, her soul is tired of this. Her soul wants her to evolve out of her ego. So a lot of things that's happening to her could seem like it's somebody else is doing it, okay? But it's really her soul wanted her to come out of her ego. And she said she loves her ego. She's not ready. Bottom line, she's not ready to let her ego go. And see, some people, it's okay for them to stay in their ego because it's not time yet. So I can't judge somebody else's life. I can't compare somebody because everybody else have their journey. Everybody has their own soul's journey. Right now, when she said that she loves her ego, that let me know that she already knew that her soul was ready for her to leave a certain lifestyle alone. And when I say lifestyle, I don't know what kind of lifestyle she was in. I'm talking about let the world go, okay? Let the world go, okay? Because I don't know what kind of lifestyle she was in. I don't mean like that. Her soul was ready for her to let the world go, and she knew it. And she knew it. And until she decides to embrace her soul, her authentic self, and when you embrace your soul and your authentic self, that means you have to give up your ego. She said that she loves her ego. And I feel like I don't even want to say this is a fear. It's not a fear because I'm going through it. I'm going through it right now. So I can't say I fear that she's going to keep having these problems until she embraces her authentic self. It's not a fear because I'm going through it. So if I got to go through it, I'm not going to be upset that anybody else go through it. Right? Until she embraces her authentic self, in order for her to do that, she has to let go of her ego. It's time for her to get into her authentic self. If she does not do that, I don't know how much time she has to live. I know that from experience. I was not supposed to be here. I keep seeing visions of how many days I have left. And then I get extra time, and I get extra time, and I get extra time. But but that's because that's the closer you get to your authentic self. Right? Right now, people don't realize their ego. They are the Antichrist, and they don't know people are the Antichrist because they think they are real when they're just an ego. They are a robot. They don't understand. You're not your real self. You're an ego. But some people, it's not time for them to let that go. But it is time for her, based on what she said that she loves her ego. Just by her saying that, let me know that that's her soul putting her through all of that because it's tired of being locked into a materialistic body and is tired of being locked into a material world. Her soul is the one that wants to be free. And in order for that to happen, she has to let go of her ego. That's what's been going on with me. That's why I said this is not a judgment. I know exactly what's happening to her. I know exactly what's happening. Okay? And until that happens, if she don't do something soon, I don't want her to be taken out. But see, this is the dangers of being too smart. Thing about me, I'm not as smart as her. Now, spiritual I am. But Taryn God is extremely smart. Extremely smart. And sometimes being spiritual, yeah, it can make you sick because it's hard to be grounded. It's hard to be grounded when you're a little too spiritual and you're not grounded. But sometimes being too smart is what messes you up. And Taryn God is extremely smart. And because she has been so smart and she has been able to get around all of this, she has chose to hold on to her ego. I didn't have that option because I'm not smart as her. So I didn't have a choice but to just go on and let my ego go because otherwise I'm going to keep suffering. Okay? Taryn God, I think her weakness is her being so smart that she is constantly able to get a smart. But now her soul has had enough. Her soul has had enough. And right now, her smarts is not getting her out of this. Her smarts is not getting her out of this situation. It is time for her to let go of her ego and become her authentic self. Okay? I want to say this. When she was living in LA, I'm sorry, I'm getting quiet because I'm looking at something. Hold on. When she was living in Los Angeles in that room, she was doing well, like I said, and I forgot to say this part. She went down and she never came back up. And this was around, I want to say, was it 2024 or 2023? 2023. She went down and she never rose back up. Something happened where her bank account was frozen. Her bank account was frozen. And she could not get to. Okay? So something happened with that. Now she was trying to get into singing. So she was tired of the spirituality stuff. And she was trying to get into singing. And actually she had put out some albums. Not real like albums like, who are with big labels and stuff, but she was able to produce some low budget type of albums. She was able to sing. She was able to get the job done. So she put out like some music. She put out albums, okay? And she seemed to be doing okay. She wanted to let the spiritual stuff go. And she wanted to give some more of her singing and entertainment. I don't know what happened or who she messed around with. And something happened where her account was frozen. That's what she said. She said her account was frozen and she could not get to her money. And after that, she didn't have a place to stay because she couldn't pay her bills. Her account was frozen. Okay. So, and ever since then, that was 2023, I think maybe 2024, early 2024. And after that, it's kind of been downhill since. She was staying in a shelter. And then she left the shelter. I don't know what happened with the shelter, but she left the shelter. And then that was it. That was all she wrote. So I think it's getting to the point where she's not able to. I think it's time for her to let the ego go and embrace her authentic self. But anyway, yeah, that's what I heard her say, that she abandoned her children. Yeah, that I don't know. See, that's the backstory, because I just started watching her when she was all set. So I didn't know that. I just happened to hear the backstory of this person who made a video about her telling the backstory. But other than that, I didn't know. But like that opened up a lot. But like I say, it seems like her weakness has been men. Every time she has a problem, every time she's going downhill, it does seem like the weakness is men. I totally get it. And that's why I say maybe the door needs to be closed to men right now. Like maybe that door don't need to be open right now. Like until she learns a lesson that she needs to learn. Maybe that door needs to be closed to additional men. Even if she meets the right one, a good man, right now she is not in a position to really receive the person that's right for her, because she might not be in alignment right now. Okay, so but I think that she needs to embrace her authentic self. I really feel like this is her soul, because it's reminded me of what happened to her, especially what happened to her in 2019. It reminded me so much of what happened to me, and that's how I know. I don't know how far things went between her and Seven. I don't know if it was intimate physically, but I do know it might have been intimate spiritually, and psychologically it was intimate, and somehow she opened herself up to something that would mess her up. But like I say, 3 years later, she was able to overcome that. So what's happening to her right now, I don't think it's because of what happened with Seven Bomar, because she was doing well. In 2022, she was getting back on track. And then she went downhill again and had to get out that when she went in that room because she said they froze her accounts. So this is because of some kind of decisions that's happening. And for some reason, I feel like this is from another man. I don't know how her accounts got frozen unless somebody deposited something in her account. And the bank is like, where did this come from? We don't know where this money came from. And so, and it could be, I don't know if it's a man or a business person or whatever it was. But I'm seeing a pattern that it's men. And it's a weakness. It's not to blame them. It's just a weakness, right? But anyway, and it's her ego. It's time for her to let her ego go, because her soul is not going to let up. She's not going to. Her soul is not going to let up, and I'm experiencing that right now. Like, nope, until you become your authentic self and let this person who you think you are, basically the person that's on your driver's license, your name, and that's the person you think you are, that's a false, fake person. That is the Antichrist. Okay? That's a false, fake person. That person belongs to the government. Okay? When you become your authentic self, that's when you're sovereign. And that is what's happening with me right now. That's why I don't get on too much, because I have to have time to focus on myself, and I don't feel like talking. And that's why it's so many similarities that's going on with her that I see that's been happening with me. I see the similarities, and that's why I was just talking about it. But with that being said, I got to go, and I will talk to you guys later. All righty.